Armistier Whitner knew that he had to face one of his deepest and darkest fears. Can he actually kill a plague marine? He swung violently and valiantly at his foe, and his foe was slower than he was, and due to his quicker reflexes, he was able to strike a pivotal blow to his enemy, and there lied dead one of his greatest fears. He knew if he could conquer this fear, he can conquer any fear. He left the ring of skulls a little bit stronger of mind and will, knowing this enemy can be defeated. Canoness Rachel enters the circle of skulls, and face in front of her is an enemy of old, an orc, but not just any orc. This was Ironclaw. Ironclaw had killed many in his time, including some of his sisters. Ironclaw grunted at her and let her know, I will crush you, and I will take your bones for my soup. This I will enjoy immensely. The Canoness faces her enemy and knows that the Emperor was on her side this day. The Canoness prayed, but her act of faith failed her. She wasn't sure if it was because the Emperor did not hear her prayer or the circle of skulls had something to do with it. At this point, they knew that they were going at the same time with their strikes. She proceeded to attack the Great Orc, but failed to do any damage. The Great Orc smiled and punched her with his heavy power claw, and with a single punch was able to penetrate. Her precious invulnerable save Crucius was not able to save her, and she died. The orc then smashed her into bits by stomping her, and then grinded her with his power claw, and he smiled wickedly as he left the circle. Captain Miravis, said Captain Coolblood, I finally meet you, an ultramarine. I have always wanted to kill an ultramarine of your stature, and here is the best way of all. This battle will decide who takes the seat of power, and I know it will be me. Prepare yourself. I aim to take your head. Captain Miravis looked at his nemesis, tightened his grip on his power sword, and then proceeded to attack his foe. The two adversaries circle each other and commence to start attacking. The Chaos Lord swings and hits at the captain, but he saves. His invulnerable saves save him. He then counter swings at the same time as they were swinging and thrust into Coolblood's armor, causing wounds. He's there bleeding. Coolblood is sitting up there. He snarls, tightens up the grip on his power weapon, and swings again. He still swings at the captain, but the captain was able to evade the blows and counters, cutting on the other side of Coolblood, who's still bleeding out further. He grits his teeth and says, I will have my revenge. I will be honored by the Primarch, by the demon Primarch Angron. I will take your head. He swings another time, but the captain is able to duck the blow. The blow actually penetrates, but his invulnerable save protects him. And with the last swing, he cuts off the Khorne champion's head. Captain Miravis then looks, and the circle of ring opens up, and the seed of Khorne is presented to him. He looks over at the enemy and realizes that his unit had to pay a terrible price. They had to fight valiantly. The Emperor's might was on his side this day. The Chaos side looks over and says, this is not over. Just because you won this day, we will be back. We will come back for that seat. Either this day or another. Even if it takes us a millennia, we will get it back. With that, the Chaos side turns to go report to the High Marshal Dread about what occurred. For the Loyalist side, the captain gets ready, prepares to leave the circle with the seed of chaos, knowing that this is indeed going to be very very intense. And this campaign that they have, it has just gotten started. But at least on this day, the loyal side can have some measure of victory. But the victory had a price. He looks over at his slain comrades, and there was a price, and a heavy price to pay.